You know how Jordan Peterson has 12 rules for life about being a masculine man? My dad straight up was one of the toughest cocksuckers I knew. He was one of the toughest guys in the world. He was yoked as shit and truly like a southern masculine guy. Like he worked construction, worked out, loved guns, loved big ass cars that don't run. And I thought to myself, I was like, dude, the 12 rules is too long. There are 5 rules for being a man. It's, first of all, and Jordan did get this one right, have a family. That's the first step. That actually makes a man. You can be, genetically, hormonally wise, you have testosterone, be a man. You're not a man until you have a family. Step 2, abandon that family. You got shit to do, dude. What the fuck? Deadbeat dads get a bad rap. I asked my dad, what were you doing when you were gone? He was like, dude, I was learning Metallica riffs and I was riding dune buggies. And I was like, that sounds way cooler than teaching me how to fucking read, dog. He's like, yeah, you didn't pick up on that shit too easy, so I had to. Step 3, stay with me, smoke cocaine. It rocks. If you haven't done it, if you're like, Jake, that sounds bad, it's terrible. But boy, can you jack off a ton when you do that. Step 4, get religious, but in a schizophrenic way. Step 5, hang yourself. That, guys, I'll have you know my dad's suicide made me $1,000 I'll have you know that I'm taxed 2% more on my income now because people really relate to that, I suppose, I guess. It is funny to try and people whenever you I talk about it, people are like, I'll be like, oh yeah, he was, and you use the past tense, and they go, oh, he passed, and I go, yeah, he's 52, and they go, oh, that's very young. Was he sick? And I was like, he's a sick ass dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Dude, he believed in magic, dog. He fucking. And they're like, oh, well, what did he have? And I was like, fucking dope ass dude syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, is that a clinical name? A schizoaffective disorder. Yeah, that's a. There it is. That one was more like a bad starter on an old Chevy. Fuck, that's $100 right there. And then inevitably you get to the question where someone's like, oh, how did they die? And I'm like, oh, he hung himself. And then people are like, oh man, the night's over. And I'm like, dude, he had a dope ass life. His whole life was learning seek and destroy, and then being like, I want to try a kickflip, and then breaking both of his legs. So that's cool as fuck to do that shit. Word. God damn. Bro, whenever I hear your shit, I feel like I'm in the room with God, dog. I'm like, hey, look, man, we used to worship at the altar, when I was a Southern Baptist, and I never felt that motherfucker for a moment when I was a kid. And I come to beautiful Chicago, and I'm like, Yahweh is in this bitch. You know what I mean? He's in this motherfucker, dude. My dad, when we were growing up, dude, my dad fucking, he said so, when I was real little, we used to split weekends, and he would say slurs so much, I thought they just meant my friend, but racially based. And so he's the one that he said, it was Beaner, he said it all the time. And I just thought that meant my friend that wasn't white. And so we were, when I was a kid, I went to this little preschool or kindergarten where at the end of elementary, at the end of the recess, you'd have to fill out a form that was like, what did you do today? And it was. Hey baby, you gotta call an Uber. This shit's acting up. I can't fucking. And so we fucking. We had to fill out this form, and it was like, well, I played tetherball, or I played hopscotch, or I drew. I was like, I wrote in big blue letters in crayon, I played with my Beaner friend. Like I grew up in like a predominantly Hispanic area, so the teacher was Hispanic, and she immediately like I remember clear as crystal. She walks up with the paper and is like, what? And I was like, I had a really good time. I don't understand what the deal was, you know. And she's like, we have to go have a conversation with the principal. And I was like, I guess I had so much fun that I have to go talk to the big boss man. The principal was his ex. He was like an ex-cop. He had the CIA's here. They're tapping the fuck in, and he was like, well, you know, he was one of those old redneck guys that like, if something bad happens that they think is funny. I don't know if you guys are like. Some of you guys, if you guys are Illinois, Midwestern dads are very similar. Something really bad will happen, like, I don't know, 9/11. And then a Southern dad will be like, ow, that's not funny. You know what I mean? Like, Southern dads and Midwestern dads maybe kind of like that in the same way. And so he was like, well, what happened? And Miss Penelope Garcia, wonderful lady, just wanted to teach me shapes. I was like, there's beaners in this school. And I love them. And she was like, I don't know what's happening to you. What's happening to you? And I was like, Beaner. Anyway, and so she calls principal. The principal's like, well, I mean, we're gonna have to call your mama. And I was like, don't call my mom. She's 21, and she works at Sonic. You can call my dad. He's 30, and I guess technically a pedophile. So you can. I did. You can call him. He drives forklifts and smoke crack for a living. He'll be all right. So it calls my dad, and the principal's like, Mr. Rhodes, and my dad's like, it's 2 p.m. My dad's like, yeah, what's going on? This is principal. It was like the Spider-Man pointing meme. This like old racist principal and my dad on the phone on speaker together, like, hey, is this Dave? Yeah, this is John. Hey. Anyway, it was like, we got your boy here, Jacob here, and he said a word that I don't know how y'all speaking at home, but I want to let you know that he did say something that it is upsetting to the other students, and it did upset his teacher, and so I just want to let you know that he is in my office for a really bad word, and you should have talk with him about how you're speaking at home. And my dad was on speakerphone without missing a beat. My dad goes, the boy didn't say faggot, did he? Miss Penelope walked out of the fucking room. Principal was like, no, he said beaner. And my dad was like, oh, hey, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you know. That's like Coca-Cola Classic. You know what I mean? You don't.